Mine, all mine. Oh, look at these. These are Nutty Oatmeal chocolate chunk cookies, and they're just chock-a-block full of big chunks of chocolate. They've got the nuts in there, walnuts, and then the chewiness of the oatmeal. Look at that. Oh, chewy, delicious. Let's go to the kitchen and make some right now. Now here we have all the ingredients we need for making our Nutty Oatmeal chocolate chunk cookies. First of all, I've got them in batches here. This is the first batch, was going into the large bowl. We have a half a cup of butter, 1 cup of sugar. I like a light brown sugar, works best with this. You can use other sugars, but I like the light brown cane sugar. 1 egg, a half a teaspoon of vanilla, a half a teaspoon of salt. Then we have the dry ingredients here. We have 1 cup of flour, half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And now, the additional ingredients that go in after it. Well, we have here a half a pound of dark chocolate, which has been broken up into pieces around about ½ an inch or so. Just, we want big chunks of chocolate. So it's half a pound or 230 grams of chocolate. We have here is 3/4 of a cup of walnut pieces. You can either break them by yourself by hand, or sometimes you can find the baker's pieces. Those are perfect. They're just the right size. Broken up to about, like this. And then over here we have a 1 cup of oatmeal. That's the oats in there. All right, let's get this all put together. First thing, take a large bowl. Gonna take the butter. This butter is cold. Okay, this is not a warm butter. We want cold butter because we're creaming it, and we want, with the cold butter, you get the air pockets going in there when you cream it. So, just pushing down with the back of the spoon, just going to cream that butter. It's quite cold. Takes a little bit of elbow grease, but it's really worth it because it makes a difference in the flavor of the butter, or the cookies, and how they aerate inside them. All right, I'm just going to cream that a little bit more. You just want to get it until it's a little bit softened from your creaming. All right, next thing we're going to do is going to add in the sugar. We're going to cream that into the butter. So again, creaming it until basically it all gets combined nicely together. Because what happens now, this is where the air bubbles come in. As the sugar is pulling through the cold butter, it's creating little air pockets in there. And that's going to make for the aeration and the rising of your cookie dough. So although it's a little bit of work, it is well worth it. All right, so look there, you can see that all the sugar has now been creamed into the butter. So that's the hard part behind. The elbow grease work is now done. Oops. Now, going to add, put that aside for right now, going to add the egg. Going to add the salt and the vanilla. And now, we're going to make things a little easier. We use the electric mixer. First, just work that in there. All right, now, going to mix this for 2 to 3 minutes with the electric mixer until it gets nice and smooth. All right, so because it's quite cold in the kitchen today, I've gone a full 3 minutes, and let's just get that off the beaters. You can see it's nice and smooth now. It's turned into more of a paste. Tastes great too. When you taste it at this point, and you notice it's always a little salty. That really makes a difference in the overall cookie at the end. Not as salty after you get all the other ingredients there, but it's just a perfect flavor. All right, let's get most of that off there. Lick the beaters later. Let's put that aside for right now. Next thing I'm going to do is just combine the flour and the cinnamon and the baking powder. Put those together in a bowl. Just kind of mix them around a bit, make sure they're all combined. And then this goes in to here, in with the other batter. Alrighty. Now I just mix it until it's combined. Just work it through there until all the dry ingredients are into the wet ingredients. In goes the oatmeal. Alright, once you got the oatmeal mixed into the cookie dough, then in go the chocolate chunks, in go the walnuts. See, other than the that first creaming, that's the hardest part. After that, it's all pretty quick and easy. Alright, here you just kind of mix it in until, again, we get the walnuts, chocolate chunks, all distributed throughout the cookie dough. Just toss it around a bit. Doesn't matter if it's not totally evenly distributed, although you'd like to get as much distribution of the chocolate chunks as possible. All right, now we're ready to get these into the oven. So, first thing, I've prepared here a cookie sheet, and you can do it either way. You can just grease it with some butter or something, or whatever you like to use to grease your cookie sheets. I also like to put in some parchment cooking paper, because it just makes it so much easier to take the cookies out afterwards. So, all you do is take a spoonful of the cookie dough. I just use a regular table, spoon for the table, and just put that on like here. Just leave a little space between the cookies. They do spread out. Alright, now one of the things I like to do is just to make it really look good when they're presented is just stick a couple of chocolate chunks up on top if they're down the sides, because it just looks really nice when you see that chocolate melting in all over the place. Right, that one looked good with the chocolate up there. This one's got a bit much chocolate, so we're just going to bring that over here. And then just take a fork, flatten them down about a ½ inch thick, 12 millimeters thick. Let's take that one, share over to here. Okay, all right, so there we've got 8 cookies ready to go in the oven. There's got a lot more in here yet. Gonna put those in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. They're gonna go in there for about 10 to 11 minutes. What you wanna watch is just kind of during that last minute, you wanna watch and see the edges should be starting to get this nice golden brown to them, and you'll see little air bubbles, little air pores in the cookie dough itself. That means ready to go. All right, let's get these in the oven. All right, those just came out of the oven. As you can see, nicely starting to brown around the edges a little bit, just golden, not too dark. That's perfect. You can see little air pores coming up through the, right there as one really shows well in the cookies. That's it, they're perfect. Now, usually let this sit for a couple of minutes on the tray. I've got another batch already going into the oven, so just keep rotating. But with the paper, you can usually get away with it getting off there a little earlier. And if you use something thin like this, like a really thin spatula, then I just take the cookies off here and put them straight onto the cooling tray. Just have to be careful if you're doing it early like this because they will break on you. Pretty good shape actually, these guys. All right, look at that. Look at those big chunks of chocolate in there, and you know, you got the nuttiness of the walnuts and the chewy from the oatmeal. These are absolutely delicious. Make yourself a batch soon. Now, if you go to the link appearing on the screen, you can get the free printable recipe for Nutty Oatmeal chocolate chunk cookies on our website. So go print out the recipe, have fun making and eating these little devils, and make cooking fun again with Kuma's Kitchen.